Night covered Earth like a quiet blanket. Cities glowed softly under the dark sky, and people everywhere lived their normal, peaceful lives. Children slept in warm homes. Workers drove back from long shifts. Couples walked under streetlights, laughing about small things. No one had any idea that everything was about to change forever. High above the clouds, satellites moved in silent orbits, watching the planet just as they always had. Nothing unusual appeared. No alerts. No warnings. For the first time in many years, Earth felt calm. Then everything changed. It started with a strange sound, too low for most ears to hear. A deep vibration rolled through the atmosphere like the growl of a giant waking from sleep. Birds took off suddenly. Dogs barked at empty skies. People paused and looked up, confused. Before they could understand, the sky tore open. A burning crack of white light split across the heavens, stretching from horizon to horizon. At first, people thought it might be a meteor shower or maybe a rare natural event. Phones came out. People recorded. Some even cheered. But the cheering stopped the moment the light began to take shape. The cracks grew wider and something pushed through, metal sharp angles, massive shadows blotting out the stars. It was a fleet, not human, not from Earth, and far larger than anything Earth could ever build. The Galactic Dominion had arrived. People froze as giant alien warships came down from the sky like falling mountains. Their hulls glowed with a cold blue light. Their engines hummed with a terrifying power that shook the air. Panic spread across the cities. In Tokyo, crowds screamed and ran. In Paris, buildings trembled. In New York, power grids flickered and went dark. Emergency sirens wailed everywhere, but no one knew what to do. Governments tried to reach the military, but communication lines failed one by one. The alien ships moved silently, making no attempt at diplomacy. No message, no warning, nothing. Then the first attack hit. A beam of pure energy dropped from the sky and struck a city center. In 1 second, everything inside the blast vanished without even leaving dust behind. People miles away felt the shockwave. Windows shattered. Cars flipped. Fires spread. Earth had never seen a weapon like this. Every major city came under attack. London, Moscow, Beijing, New Delhi, Cairo, Sydney. There was no pattern, just destruction. Alien ships targeted power plants, military bases, and communication towers first. Earth's defenses collapsed too quickly for anyone to react. On television screens, the news anchors trembled as they reported what they could. Then even those signals went dead. All around the world, fear grew into something heavier, hopelessness. And then the aliens finally spoke. A signal cut into every active screen, every radio, every speaker. The voice was cold, emotionless, artificial. It spoke in perfect English but with a hollow echo. This world is now under the rule of the Galactic Dominion. Resistance is not allowed. Humanity will submit. The message repeated again and again. People watched in horror as Dominion drones descended from the sky like metal insects, round bodies with glowing red eyes, scanning ruins for survivors. Some drones fired on anything that moved. Others recorded the chaos. In space, the rest of the Dominion fleet orbited Earth like a metal cage. No ship could escape. No help could arrive. It looked like the end. But not everything was lost. Deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, hidden under layers of rock and reinforced steel, a secret human command base still had power. Few people on Earth even knew it existed. Inside, emergency lights flickered to life, painting the walls in red. Soldiers and technicians rushed to their stations, trying to understand the scale of the attack. Commander Arya Grant stood in the middle of the room, staring at the large screen in front of her. She watched live satellite feeds showing cities burning, ships falling, and the sky filled with alien monsters of metal. Her jaw tightened. Her hands trembled slightly, not with fear but with anger. She was one of the few leaders left with command authority. The others had vanished or gone silent. "Status report," she said, her voice steady despite everything. A young officer swallowed hard before speaking. "Ma'am, Earth's major defenses are gone. All orbital stations destroyed. The Dominion, they hit everything at once." Another officer added, "We estimate more than 30% of the planet is without power. Communications are down almost everywhere. We can't reach any allied forces." Arya closed her eyes for a moment, breathing slowly. She could hear distant explosions even underground. The Dominion wanted total submission, total control. But she knew one thing the aliens didn't. Humans don't surrender easily. "Get me visuals on all surviving assets," she ordered. "Stealth units, hidden research labs, anything we still have." Soldiers worked fast. Small green dots appeared across the digital map. They weren't many, but they were enough. A whisper spread through the command center. "Maybe we're not finished. Maybe we can still fight." Above ground, alien fleets moved like predators circling their prey. They believed Earth was already broken. They believed humanity would fall just like thousands of other worlds before it. But they were wrong. Far below the collapsing cities, humans were already preparing their response. Not with panic, not with chaos, but with cold, focused fury. Commander Arya looked at the map, her eyes burning. The Dominion thought they had won. They thought humans were too weak, too slow, too primitive. She leaned forward and whispered the first words of Earth's retaliation. "They made their move, now it's our turn." And somewhere deep in space, the galaxy shivered, though it didn't yet understand why. Far from Earth, in the deep black of space, thousands of alien worlds glowed like scattered jewels. News of Earth's fall spread fast, carried by trading ships, military scouts, and gossip channels that fed on fear and excitement. The Galactic Dominion was the strongest empire in known space. Their attack on Earth was not a surprise to many species. What surprised them was how easy it was. On the planet Zaloran 5, a group of alien merchants stopped their negotiations to watch a news broadcast on a hologram screen. A Dominion soldier proudly announced, "Earth is now under Dominion control. Human resistance has been neutralized." The merchants laughed. Humans to them were young, loud, emotional, and barely space-ready. They were known for music, art, exploration, nothing dangerous. One merchant clicked his mandibles in amusement. "Humans, they actually tried to resist a Dominion fleet. How foolish." Another alien, tall and scaled, added, "It's over for them. They should accept their place. Weak species should not challenge the Dominion." This reaction repeated across dozens of planets. Cafes, markets, military bases, and starports buzzed with the same opinion. Humanity never stood a chance. The galactic public saw Earth as small, fragile, unspecial. And the Dominion encouraged this view. Official Dominion news streams showed only images of burning cities and destroyed human ships. They replayed the human surrender message, even though humans had never sent any surrender message at all. But most species did not care. They believed what they saw. The Dominion had shaped the story and the galaxy accepted it. Except for one species. The Varric. On their quiet planet of Sevrana, the Varric watched the same news, but they did not laugh. They did not celebrate. They did not insult humans. They watched carefully. The Varric were a small reptilian race with sharp eyes and memories that stretched back thousands of years. They had seen empires rise and fall. They had seen species destroyed. And they had learned one truth. Every empire, no matter how large, had a blind spot. And every underestimated species had a hidden strength. Elder Raven, leader of the Varric Scholars' Council, studied the report on Earth with a troubled expression. His eyes blinked slowly as he replayed the first moments of the attack. "This is too fast," he murmured. His assistant, a younger Varric named Salran, tilted his head. Too fast, Elder. Look at the timing, Raven said. The Dominion hit every major human defense in the same minute. Not even our fastest fleets could coordinate a strike like that. Sauron frowned. What does that mean? Raven's voice lowered. It means the Dominion feared something. And when an empire fears something, it strikes with overwhelming force. Sauron looked confused. Humans, the Dominion feared humans. Raven nodded slowly. Perhaps not humans as they are now, but humans as they might become. He stared at the holoscreen again. Humans were chaotic, emotional, reckless, but they had something the Varric recognized, something dangerous. Adaptation, speed, unpredictability, traits that had toppled many empires in history. But the rest of the galaxy did not see this. To them, humans were strange creatures from a backwater planet, known for curiosity but not strength. On the desert world of Koran, a Dominion officer stood before a cheering crowd. Lights flashed and banners waved. The officer raised his voice proudly. Earth resisted for only 12 minutes before falling. The Dominion is unstoppable. The crowd roared. Behind the officer, a reporter whispered into her recorder. Humans fought seriously. With what? Their rockets, their little spaceships, foolish species. The galaxy celebrated Earth's fall as entertainment, not tragedy. In the metallic halls of the Dominion High Command, leaders smiled with satisfaction. The Supreme Commander, a massive being with armored skin, addressed his war council. The humans were a minor target, he said. A simple task. They will obey us like all the others. His generals nodded. Humanity will learn its place. They cannot resist. They will serve or die. Even the Dominion scientists dismissed humans. A researcher with glowing green eyes looked through data and laughed softly. Humans are physically weak, technologically behind, and easily frightened. No danger at all. They will never challenge us. His assistant looked up. Should we continue monitoring Earth? The researcher waved a hand lazily. No need. The battle is already finished. But it wasn't finished. Not even close. Because while the galaxy laughed, something unusual happened. Earth's signal went silent. Not accidentally, not from destruction. It was intentional. Commander Arya Grant had shut down human communication channels on purpose. No messages left Earth. No scans showed activity. To the galaxy, Earth looked dead. But under the surface, deep inside secret bases, humans worked in complete secrecy. No one knew, not even Earth's closest allies. And the Dominion made a fatal mistake. They thought silence meant surrender. But the Varric knew better. Elder Raven ran his clawed hand over old scrolls and data tablets, comparing ancient wars with the present situation. He found patterns, clear ones. Humans are hiding, he whispered to himself. They are planning something. Sauron looked uneasy. Should we warn the Dominion? Raven's eyes narrowed. No, the Dominion is arrogant. They will not listen. And when arrogance blinds an empire, disaster follows. He closed the tablet and stared out at the night sky. I fear the Dominion has woken something they cannot control. Sauron swallowed. Something dangerous. Raven nodded slowly. Humans. While most of the galaxy laughed, joked, and mocked Earth's destruction, the Varric felt cold fear. Their instincts whispered a warning. Humanity had not fallen. Humanity was waiting. Watching. Preparing. And the moment the Dominion realized their mistake, it would already be too late. Deep under the shattered world above, Commander Arya Grant stood inside Earth's last surviving command center. The smooth metal walls hummed quietly as backup generators pushed out the last bits of stable power. The red emergency lights made everything look darker, heavier, as if the whole planet was holding its breath. Only a small group of humans had made it here. Scientists with tired eyes, soldiers covered in dust, engineers whose hands shook from shock and fear. None had slept since the attack. Arya looked at each one of them. She knew their families might already be gone, their homes destroyed, their world burning. But she also knew something else, something the Dominion did not understand. Humans were dangerous when cornered. "Status?" she asked calmly, even though she felt pressure building in her chest. Lieutenant Harris tapped rapidly on his cracked console. Still no communication from any world government. All major networks are offline. Satellite links destroyed. "And the Dominion?" Arya asked. "They're quiet." Harris frowned. "No new attacks for the last hour. They think we're defeated." Arya almost smiled. "Good, let them think that." The room fell silent. Everyone felt her words settle like cold steel. Earth was not dead. Earth was not done. Earth was preparing. Arya motioned to the central table. Its surface lit up, showing hidden bases, underground bunkers, and Black Ops facilities scattered around the planet, projects kept secret even from many world leaders. "These are our remaining assets," she said. "Most are damaged, some are completely cut off, but a few still have power." A young scientist, Dr. Selene Ward, stepped forward nervously. She pushed up her cracked glasses. "Commander, we still have the prototypes." The room shifted. Everyone understood what prototypes meant. Project Reclaimer. A classified human plan created for a possible alien invasion that most believed would never come. It included experimental stealth ships, AI-guided drones, and weapons that were years ahead of anything humanity had publicly revealed. Arya turned to Selene. "How many are operational?" Selene swallowed. 4 stealth corvettes, 2 drone swarms, 1 quantum communication pod. She hesitated. "Everything else is either damaged or unfinished." "4 ships. 2 swarms. 1 pod." It wasn't much, not compared to the Dominion's colossal fleets. But it might be enough. Arya nodded. "We work with what we have. This isn't about beating their entire fleet. This is about making them bleed, making them afraid, showing the galaxy we're still alive." General Rourke, an older soldier with a deep scar across his face, stepped forward. "We should strike something important," he suggested. "A fuel depot, a shipyard, anything that hurts." Arya agreed, but they needed intelligence first. "Selene, bring up the quantum pod." Selene hurried to a metal container at the corner of the room. Inside sat a round device glowing with soft blue light. The quantum pod could send tiny, undetectable signals by bending particles in ways Dominion sensors couldn't read. Arya tapped its interface. "We scanned the Dominion fleet silently. No waves, no signatures, no broadcasts. They cannot know we're still here." The device hummed, and tiny data streams appeared on the screen. Slowly, painfully, an image formed. The Dominion's fleet positions. Their patrol routes. Their blind spots. Their mistakes. Everyone leaned closer. It was like watching a predator with its eyes closed. "They aren't guarding the dark side of the moon," Harris whispered. "That entire area is empty." General Rourke growled in disbelief. "Arrogant fools." Arya studied the map. "We launch from that shadow. They won't detect our ships until it's too late." The scientists and soldiers stared at her, waiting for the next command. She breathed deeply. "Prepare the reclaimer fleet," she said, "and send coded orders to every hidden bunker and lab. Tell them the same message. Humanity stands. Humanity retaliates." For a moment, no one moved. Then the room burst into motion. Soldiers rushed to secure weapons. Engineers sprinted to check power lines, fuel tanks, and engines. Scientists grabbed data pads and began running calculations. The hum of activity filled the underground base, rising like a heartbeat. Above ground, the Dominion drones scanned the ruins of cities. They found bodies, broken machines, and burning structures, but they detected no active resistance. Everything was going exactly as Arya planned. The Dominion believed Earth had fallen completely. Their reports to High Command claimed no significant human activity detected. Earth is silent. Victory is secure. Arya used that arrogance like a shield. Hours later, the first stealth corvette rolled out from a hidden tunnel. Its hull was covered in black plates that bent light in strange ways, making it nearly invisible. The pilots climbed in with steely faces. They had lost everything, families, friends, homes, but their eyes burned with something stronger than grief. Purpose. Inside the command room, Arya watched the launch cameras. Her heart beat fast, but her mind stayed sharp. She could not afford fear. Not tonight, not ever. Corvette 1 status, she asked. A voice crackled through. Engine stable, cloaking active. We are ready, Commander. The second, third, and fourth ships followed. Then the drone swarms. Clouds of tiny, fast machines capable of tearing through metal like paper were released from their underground vaults. Arya looked at her team. Tonight the galaxy believes humans are finished. Tonight they sleep in comfort. They laugh at us. Her voice dropped to a whisper. Tomorrow they will learn who we really are. The attack would begin soon. Earth would strike back. Quietly, precisely, without mercy. And for the first time since the invasion began, a spark of hope flickered in every human heart. Humanity was not just surviving. Humanity was preparing to rise. The dark side of the moon was silent. No sunlight, no reflections, no signs of life. Only cold shadows stretching forever across the dusty surface. It was the perfect place for humanity's first strike. High Command of the Dominion had completely ignored this region. To them, humans were already defeated. Why would they waste ships guarding empty space? This arrogance was exactly what Commander Arya Grant was counting on. Inside the underground base, Arya stood before a large screen that displayed the moon's hidden launch tunnel. One by one, the 4 stealth corvettes moved through the narrow passage, rising toward the surface like ghosts climbing out of the grave. Their engines produced no sound. Their hulls bent light, making them nearly impossible to see even at close range. Each ship was small compared to Dominion cruisers, but they were fast, very fast. Lieutenant Harris sat at the control station, his eyes locked on the corvette's vitals. All 4 ships are in position, he said quietly, cloaking systems stable. General Rourke leaned forward. Targets. Harris pressed several commands. A hologram appeared, 3 Dominion structures floating in Earth's orbit. A shipyard. A fuel depot. A communications hub. All essential, all exposed. Arya's voice was steady. Corvettes, this is Earth Command. Targets confirmed. You may proceed. A brief pause, then the pilot of Corvette 1 responded. Copy, Commander. Beginning approach. The corvettes drifted forward, silent and invisible. No Dominion scanners reacted. No alarm sounded. The Dominion believed humans did not have the technology or the daring to launch such an attack. They were wrong. The first target was the Dominion shipyard. It looked like a giant metal spider floating above Earth, with long arms holding incomplete warships. Workers in armored suits moved slowly between platforms, repairing damage from the initial invasion. They were relaxed, no shields were active, no weapons ready. Then, without any warning, something strange appeared on their sensors, too small to identify, too fast to track. Before anyone could understand, Corvette 1 fired. The human ship launched a single, thin beam, almost invisible to the eye. The beam sliced through the shipyard's central support like a knife through glass. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the entire shipyard collapsed. Metal screamed as the structure twisted and buckled. Fires burst from storage sections. Massive incomplete ships tore free from their docks and spiraled into open space. Dominion workers panicked, shouting confused orders. What hit us? Where did it come from? Shields up, shields up. But it was too late. The Dominion had never seen technology like the human prototype weapons. Their shields were designed to block energy blasts, not silent, needle-thin beams that carved through steel without leaving a trace. The whole shipyard exploded, sending burning fragments drifting like red stars. The galaxy had just witnessed humanity's first retaliation. Corvette 2 and 3 moved toward the fuel depot next. Huge tanks filled with volatile plasma floated in a metal ring. Dominion engineers stood guard, but they were relaxed. After all, Earth was defeated. The corvettes positioned themselves perfectly. "Fire when ready," Arya transmitted. Two small missiles detached from Corvette 2, dark, silent, almost invisible. They drifted gently, like pieces of debris. The Dominion guards didn't notice them until the missiles landed softly on the fuel tanks. Then they detonated. A white-blue explosion erupted like a newborn sun. The shockwave shredded nearby drones and tore open multiple fuel lines. A chain reaction followed, each tank feeding the next, building a storm of fire brighter than dawn. The Dominion's entire fuel reserve for Earth orbit burned away in seconds. Inside the command center on Earth, humans watched the fires with wide eyes. They had expected success, but not this level of devastation. General Rourke let out a low whistle. "We just took out 20 ships worth of fuel." Arya didn't smile, but her eyes gleamed. "Good. Let the Dominion wonder who did it." Corvette 4 headed to the last target, the communications hub. It was the nerve center for Dominion ships in Earth's orbit. Without it, their coordination would collapse. The hub floated behind a protective shield, glowing like a blue bubble. Dominion officers walked along its inner ring, completely unaware of the cloaked human ship approaching. Corvette 4 scanned for weaknesses. "There," the pilot said, "small gap in the shield rotation." They slipped through. For a moment, the Corvette floated inside the Dominion's most protected structure, surrounded by alien officers who had no idea a human ship was only meters away. Arya whispered into the mic, "Corvette 4, disable it." The Corvette released a swarm of micro-drones, small enough to fit in a human hand, deadly enough to slice metal. They scattered through the hub, crawling across control panels, wires, and engines. Then they activated. Dominion officers screamed as sparks exploded around them. Screens went black. Alarms blared. Huge systems collapsed like dominoes. The entire communications grid flickered, then died completely. Dominion fleets suddenly lost contact with each other. Orders could not be sent. Ship movements became confused and disorganized. And worst of all, no one knew who was attacking them. Panic spread across all Dominion units near Earth. Multiple captains contacted High Command. "We are under attack. Unknown enemy, unknown weapons. Our shipyard is gone. Our fuel depot exploded. The hub is destroyed." The Supreme Commander of the Dominion slammed his fist onto his throne. "Who is doing this? Humans cannot launch attacks. They are dead." But reports kept coming. The Dominion was being hit hard, fast, and silently. It made no sense. Humans were supposed to be weak, primitive, broken. Yet someone, or something, was striking with terrifying precision. Back on Earth, the 4 corvettes returned safely to the moon's shadow. The command center erupted in cheers. Soldiers hugged each other. Scientists wiped tears from their faces. For the first time since the invasion, hope felt real. Commander Arya stood tall in the center of the room. She didn't celebrate. She simply watched the screens showing the burning wrecks of Dominion structures. She raised her chin. "Send a message," she said quietly, "to the Dominion High Command. Harris nodded, recording her words. Arya spoke with cold, calm fire. You started this war. You attacked our home. You wanted submission. But you forgot one thing. She leaned closer to the mic. Humans retaliate. The message was sent, and the galaxy felt the first tremor of a storm that had only begun. The Dominion High Command was in chaos. Massive holoscreens flickered inside the war chamber. Officers shouted over each other as new reports came in every minute. The shipyard destroyed. The fuel depot gone. The communications hub offline. 3 more patrol ships missing. Entire routes silent. The Supreme Commander, a tall armored creature with burning yellow eyes, slammed his claws on the table. Who is attacking us? He roared. Where are the scans? Where are the sensor logs? A technician trembled. We have nothing, sir. No signatures, no trace. It is as if the attackers were invisible, the commander growled. The technician nodded in fear. The Dominion had never faced an enemy like this. Every empire they conquered fought with loud fleets, visible ships, desperate cries. But this enemy struck quietly, hit hard, and vanished. Worse, this enemy felt angry. Across the galaxy, something strange began to happen. Alien species that once laughed at Earth now felt uneasy. Rumors spread faster than light-traveling ships. Did you hear? The Dominion shipyard was destroyed. No, that's wrong. It was 3 structures. Some say a ghost fleet is attacking them. Maybe the Dominion angered something far worse than humans. In shadow-filled bars, dusty trading ports, and bright markets, whispers turned into worry. The Dominion had ruled for centuries without taking real losses. They were too strong, too brutal, too feared. So why were they suddenly being hit so easily? Why were they losing? A few species dared to speak the truth quietly. What if humans survived? Most laughed at this idea just like before, but a small group listened. A small group felt something shift in the stars. The Varric. On the peaceful world of Sevrana, Elder Raven sat in his stone chamber, reviewing new reports on his floating data tablet. His scaled fingers tapped lightly as he read. Salrin, the younger Varric assistant, entered quickly. Elder, Dominion forces are calling the attacks unknown enemy action. They don't believe humans are responsible. Raven's eyes narrowed. Of course they don't. Arrogance blinds them. Salrin hesitated. Do you truly believe humans survived the invasion? Raven nodded slowly. Yes, and more than that, they are retaliating. He turned the tablet around, showing patterns of destruction, precise surgical hits. This is not chaos, this is strategy. Salrin's voice lowered. The Dominion will strike back once they discover the humans. Raven looked out the window at Sevrana's blue forests. That is why we must decide now. Will we stand with the Dominion or with humanity? Salrin flinched. Stand with humans, they are unpredictable, emotional, dangerous. Raven smiled sadly. Exactly, that is why the Dominion cannot defeat them. He stood. We will contact them. Salrin's eyes widened. But if the Dominion finds out? They will punish us, Raven finished. Yes, but I would rather risk that than remain silent while the Dominion destroys another species. The Varric made their decision. Back on Earth in the underground command center, alarms beeped softly. Lieutenant Harris turned. Commander Arya, we are receiving a signal. Everyone froze. Dominion, Rourke asked, reaching for his weapon out of instinct. Harris shook his head. No, the signature is different, unknown, not hostile. The room tensed as Arya stepped forward. Put it through. A hologram formed, blue shapes slowly coming together. The figure was small, with green scales and bright eyes. Elder Raven appeared. He bowed his head gently. Human leadership, we have been watching, and we wish to speak. The room erupted. Is this a trick? Are they spies? Maybe they're trying to locate our base. Arya raised her hand, silencing everyone. She stared at the Varric elder. You know the Dominion listens to everything. Yes, Raven replied. But not here. We are using old technology, long-distance analog signals, too primitive for the Dominion to track. A scientist whispered, shocked, analog, that's brilliant. Raven continued, humans, you have survived the Dominion attack. You are fighting back, and we wish to help. Arya studied him carefully. Why? The Varric leader closed his eyes briefly. Because the Dominion has crushed our people for generations. They take our resources. They steal our knowledge. They break our spirit. You are not the first to stand against them, but you may be the first to truly hurt them. The room went silent. Arya leaned closer. What do you offer? Raven's voice dropped low. Maps, weak points, supply routes, hidden stations, everything the Dominion does not want anyone to know. Gasps filled the room. This information could change the war. Arya asked again, careful and cold, and what do you want in return? Raven bowed deeply. Freedom, not just for us, but for all species under the Dominion's rule. Arya nodded slowly. Then we share a goal. The Varric became humanity's first ally. Hours later, new holograms filled the command room. Dominion outposts, secret factories, ship construction routes, fleet paths. The amount of data was enormous. Scientists worked non-stop. Maps were drawn, targets identified, stealth paths calculated. General Rourke laughed. With this much intel, we can hit them anywhere. Arya did not laugh. Her voice remained cool. We must move carefully. One mistake and they will destroy us. But inside she felt something powerful growing, momentum. Hope. Revenge. Purpose. The galaxy noticed too. More species began to question the Dominion. Small rebel groups sent coded messages. Merchants refused to trade with Dominion officers. A few brave soldiers from other worlds deserted their posts, whispering. Humans are fighting back. If they can do it, maybe we can too. The Dominion felt the shift. Their leaders saw cracks in their perfect rule. Fear crept into their hearts. Their empire was shaking. Because of humans. Commander Arya stood in front of her team. Today, she said firmly, we begin something bigger than retaliation. We begin liberation. Screens around her showed new missions. Operations designed not just to hurt the Dominion, but to free entire species. Drone strikes, stealth sabotage, rescue missions, communications disruption. Earth was no longer fighting for survival. Earth was fighting to change the galaxy. And the Dominion would pay the price for underestimating humanity. The Dominion's main command fortress floated in a quiet region of space, far from trade routes, far from any star. It was built in darkness, half hidden inside an asteroid, half covered with metal layers and energy shields. No outsider had ever seen it. No outsider even knew its location. But today, humans knew. The Varric had given them the coordinates, and Earth was ready. In the underground command center, Commander Arya stood at the center of the glowing holomap. Red symbols marked enemy ships. Blue lights showed the human ghost fleet, small, invisible vessels built from scavenged parts and stolen tech. Her voice was calm, but her eyes were sharp. Tonight, she said, we end the Dominion's control. Around her, soldiers and scientists stood at attention. Some looked scared, some looked angry, all of them looked determined. General Rourke stepped forward. Our ships are in position. We hit their station from 3 sides, fast, silent, and coordinated. A tech officer added, their defenses are strong, but not strong enough. Commander, once we break through the first barrier, the Dominion will panic. Arya nodded. Good, let them panic. Far out in space, human ships waited in the shadows. Captain Myra Chen sat in the cockpit of the lead vessel, the Spectre 1. The crew behind her checked weapons and engines. Nobody spoke. They were too focused. Myra whispered, "Activate threat mask." The ship hummed quietly as it entered full stealth mode. Its image blurred and faded until even the stars behind it looked unchanged. "Spectre 1 ready," she reported. "Spectre 2 ready. Spectre 3 ready. Spectre 4 ready." 4 ships. 5 years ago this would have been a joke. Humanity had lost Earth's fleets, lost its stations, lost everything. Now, a small fleet of ghost ships was about to strike the heart of the strongest empire in the galaxy. Inside the Dominion fortress, alarms remained silent. Officers walked through long metal halls unaware. Screens displayed calm reports. Patrols normal, borders secure, no threats detected. The Supreme Commander sat in his throne-like chair, surrounded by advisors. He felt confident again. The attacks had slowed. He believed the unknown enemy was losing strength. "We will crush these pests soon," he growled. But then, the lights flickered. Just once. Barely noticeable. A technician frowned. "Sir, I am detecting a power fluctuation." "Then fix it," the commander snapped. "Yes, sir." But the technician never got the chance. Because outside the fortress, hidden in the cold darkness of space, the first human strike began. Captain Myra spoke quietly. "Fire." The Spectre 1 launched a thin beam of compressed plasma. It had no glow, no sound, no visible trail. The only sign of its existence was the sudden flash of the Dominion shield cracking. Immediately, the fortress roared with alarms. "Shield breach detected. Unknown fire, unknown fire. Locate the attackers." The Supreme Commander stood. "How are they attacking us? Where are they?" No one had an answer. Human stealth technology wasn't perfect, but it was unpredictable, strange, and impossible for Dominion computers to read. For the first time in centuries, the Dominion was blind. On Earth, Arya watched the battle unfold on holograms. "Push forward," she ordered. The Ghost Fleet advanced, firing silent bursts of energy. Every strike hit a weak point the Varric had provided. Pipes ruptured, control towers fell, power lines burned. Inside the fortress, Dominion soldiers scrambled, crashing into each other as they ran. The commander shouted, "Bring all defenses online, now." Turrets rotated, cannons charged, but none could lock onto the invisible attackers. Panic spread. Fear grew. And then Earth sent the second wave. Dozens of small drone pods dropped from the ghost ships. These drones were not strong, not armored, but they were fast, almost impossible to target. They zipped through cracks in the fortress armor, through vents, through maintenance tunnels. Each drone carried a small but powerful EMP charge. One by one, they detonated. Lights failed, screens died, engines stalled, the fortress shook violently. The Supreme Commander's eyes widened. No, no, impossible. It was happening again. The same feeling he had during the attacks on their shipyards, their depots, their routes. The same feeling spreading across the Dominion. Humans were not weak. Humans were not defeated. Humans were everywhere. Captain Myra's ship approached the final barrier, a massive energy door blocking the heart of the fortress. Her lieutenant asked, "Should we pull back?" Myra shook her head. "No, we finished this." She launched a final plasma burst. The barrier cracked. It sparked, and then exploded in a shower of blue fire. Behind it lay the Dominion core, largest reactor, strongest power source, the pride of the Empire. Myra whispered, "Send signal." A message flashed toward Earth. "Core exposed." Arya didn't hesitate. "Fire the hammer." On the far side of the solar cloud, a hidden human cannon, built inside an asteroid, activated. It was humanity's largest weapon, created secretly with Varric help. For months, engineers had worked sleepless nights, building something powerful enough to destroy a fortress. Now it was ready. A long beam of pure white energy shot through space. It crossed millions of kilometers in seconds. Inside the fortress, the Supreme Commander looked up and saw the bright light coming. No! The hammer struck the reactor. A blinding explosion filled the darkness. Metal melted. Walls shattered. The entire Dominion command fortress ripped apart in a firestorm. The strongest symbol of power in the galaxy was gone. Silence followed. A long, peaceful silence. Then, across countless worlds, a new sound began: cheers. Species long oppressed rose to their feet. They shouted in markets, in homes, in underground shelters. Humans did it. The Dominion is breaking. We are free. Even the Varric on Sevrana cried with joy. Humanity had struck the heart of the Empire and won. Back on Earth, Commander Arya watched the debris of the fortress on the hollow screen. Her voice was soft. It's over. General Rourke shook his head. No, it's just the beginning. We've shown the galaxy what humans are capable of. Arya smiled slightly. Yes, we have. In the darkness of space, the Ghost Fleet turned toward home, victorious, unbroken, and ready for whatever came next. For the first time since the invasion, humanity wasn't hiding. Humanity was rising. Humanity was feared. Humanity was respected. And the galaxy would never underestimate them again.